Young men between 15 and 25 watch fake news and sports, little else. Everyone's focusing on the female demographic because apparently telecasters think they're stupid enough to buy into that legacy. I don't think so. We're now looking at a different concept. What's a network? What is it? What's a television network? Maybe it would be more useful if we didn't use terms like that and we start looking at aggregators in different ways. We've used the word aggregator in our world a lot. But a network is an eyeball aggregator. Maybe it's an ad sales aggregator. But we're really talking about aggregation. Social networks are aggregators. YouTube is an aggregator. It's also the #2 search engine in the world. YouTube? Yeah. If you're young enough not to be able to type a lot, it's nice to have a video explain to you what something is. Speaking of YouTube, everyone thinks they know what it is. If you really understand YouTube thoroughly, then you don't, because I don't. I'm watching its impact on society, but I'm watching its impact on decision-making for creative filmmaking. And I've watched a couple of things. Here's a theory. See if you agree with it. Unless something is so staggeringly entertaining that it becomes an event that you must see, a motion picture that looks like I could have done that on YouTube is not special enough to buy a ticket to. You may ask yourself why there are fewer movies. Well, obviously, if you have greater segmentation among groups and you have to do advertising for narrower cohorts of individuals, advertising is going by definition to cost more. But it's also interesting how you capture people's minds. Think about it. If I'm multitasking, rapid focus shifting, and if I have YouTube, start combining these concepts in your brain and start looking at movies like Hangover. Look at movies that are basically not in a chronological order. And I came up with my analysis of where the movie business is today by looking at 4 principal components. And how old you are will tell you how you prioritize those components. I'm looking at, nobody here is young. Everyone here is over 20, so, I mean, okay, for all you old people, I'm one of you, sorry. I'm looking out at you. Ride, moments, character, story. For all of you who are out there, like from the CFTC, I won't mention any names, you start with stories and characters. Great. Very, very over 30 way of looking at the world. If you happen to be somewhere between that 15 and 25 skeptical demographic, you start with a ride. And the ride is the thrill, the visual, the excitement, the pace, and then the moments. And the moments are literally YouTube moments. How can I extrapolate a moment and share it with my friends? What is it that I can communicate with others that provides that essence of the moment that I enjoyed or want that movie? How do I market that film without those moments? Then come characters. And story is dead last? That's disgusting. Motion pictures, television productions are supposed to be the literature of our times. The literature is supposed to tell stories about people, about characters. That's what it's supposed to be. Well, that's what I was taught it was supposed to be. It wasn't about the ride. It wasn't about the moments. But those of you who embrace mass entertainment by starting with story and character, it's not what the audience wants. They want the ride. They want the moments. Now, all of you are saying, this is disgusting. Can someone just get this guy out of here? This is the opposite of everything I've lived for, everything I've built for, everything. I want him gone. I don't want to hear what he's saying. He's full of crap. Maybe. But what if he's right? Now, here's the good news. Just because you have rides and moments doesn't mean you can't have characters and story. They're not mutually exclusive. And therein lies the challenge to the film community. How do I embrace an amazing story with compelling characters, moments that will live etched in minds forever, on a ride that's a thrill? We all talk about something called the 4-quadrant motion picture, male, female, over 25, under 25, et cetera, et cetera. That's great, except the top two quadrants don't matter. Huh? Did he just say what I thought he said? People over 25, 30 don't matter? Yeah, you don't. I'm sorry. I'm clearly in that category. I don't matter. So it's a little self-deprecation. And maybe it's just the economy, because what has happened since September 15th is that people over 30 have gone to movies 46% less than they did before, whereas kids have gone to movies 24% more. Why? Well, this is my theory. I don't know if it holds water or not. But going to movies for an adult is an evening out. You buy, it's a family unit, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. Often involves dinner, transportation, parking, maybe a meal, maybe some concession stand, purchases, and the movie. $40, $50, $60, $70, not uncommon. Kids pile in a car, even if they're on dates, everybody pays their own ticket. It's cheaper. Cheaper than what they were doing before, whatever that was. So as you go through this, and you start realizing people who are in the movie business are catering to people who go to movies. And if people over 30 don't go to movies, they don't cater to you. A couple of other harsh realities. You all know about the long tail. There's an article written in 1996 about how movies generate and television product generates profound money over time. Looking at the movie business, by the way, the social philosopher who came up with the 80-20 rule is a guy named Vilfredo Pareto, and we all know what the 80-20 rule is. Except a group of Wharton MBAs, professors, decided to analyze the long tail, the 80-20 assumptions we all make, as it applies to the motion picture business. They found that by the year 2000, it was 86-14, and that now it's heading toward 90-10. And if you start looking at the home video numbers, and you realize here's the way the world looked in 2007 in the motion picture business. 21% of the gross revenues to the studios came from theatrical. Somewhere between 50 and 60% of the top line revenues to the studios came from home video, and the balance from television. Home video is contracting. Sell-through dropped 14% in 2009 from 2008. Rental went up 8%. But when you realize a sell-through event generates a couple of bucks to a studio and a rental probably 10 to 20 cents, you begin to realize there's an erosion going on. And if we're trying to look at what we're going to price motion picture content at in the downloading universe, take a look at Redbox, Netflix, because those are the numbers we're likely to see in that universe, and it's about $1. And out of the dollar, about 9 to 20 cents goes to the studio. That tells you the back end is eroding. Television, pay television output deals. The last cycle, HBO, Showtime, Stars, et cetera, then paid a good hefty chunk of change. As people are renewing those deals, studios are finding a 40 to 50% reduction in the revenue stream that's being generated by pay television. Telecasters can't pay as much because advertising's a little down and their audience is fractionalized. So what that tells you as a trend analyst is the emphasis has to be on motion pictures that do better theatrically. This is the antichrist to independent filmmakers.